Good afternoon, everybody. Alex StarCraft here, and I am so excited to be bringing you guys this game. If you guys did not see game number 1 between these two players on my channel, go watch it right now because it was freaking awesome. I will not tell you too much more. My one hint will be the fact that when the final engagement came, Stephano had 19 queens. Very interesting play. I've not seen anything like that from a Zerg player before, and all I can say is that game was beautiful from both ends, and a very macro-heavy ZVZ. Again, you do not see those too often. So hopefully this game will be just as good, and I have no doubt that it will be, just because, as I said, both of these players are two of the best foreigner Zerg players, if not two of the best Zerg players, period, in the world right now. And I am extremely excited to be watching this game. And once again, I just want to say that I am so thankful for many of you guys for subscribing to me, watching my videos, supporting me, and comments, stuff like that. And it is just wonderful just because I love doing this casting. It puts me in such a good mood every time because I'll come back from my day of classes and multivariable calculus and French and all that crazy shit. Stephano's French, by the way, pretty cool. I could probably talk with him if I wanted to. Except I'm not good enough. I don't really deserve to. But I come back from all my super annoying classes and whatnot. I'm in a bad mood. I'm tired. And then I just start casting. And I am just smiling the entire time. And I'm so peppy. And we have both players going for a hatch first. And this is a very fun thing to watch. Again, I think it's really cool how in ZVZ, if they are in close air positions, and they are... they scout each other. Of course they scout each other. You see both of them go for like the exact same build. Of course, as I say that, they start going for different builds. They both did go for a kind of mutual hatch first. And the difference being, let's take a look. Alright, so it's about 10 seconds. This is about 23. Okay, so his spawning pool is about 15 seconds ahead. And his gas is about 15 seconds ahead. So basically, IdrA just opted to go for his gas, then pool. Stephano went pool, then gas. You see both of their hatches are like almost exactly, I think IdrA's is 1 second ahead. But both players are fully aware of what the other one is doing. And this just creates a very cool dynamic because there's no like secret build order or anything like that. If, for example, even if IdrA was to hide a spawning pool back here and go for a 7 pool, Stephano would have seen that by the time he was at maybe 12-ish food. And he would have been able to throw down his spawning pool, and both players would have seen. So this is there's no coin toss kind of stuff when they're in the close air positions. Everyone knows what the other players are doing, especially at this professional level. Their play is just so good. And so now we really just kind of get to see who is the better player. And of these two players, I honestly don't know which one is. I know I love both of them very dearly, and that my opinion will not change at all based on what I see happening in these games. So it looks like both players mining gas. I'm not sure what IdrA was doing. Okay, no, they both do have the speed on the way. IdrA just pulled off gas for a few seconds. I guess maybe, I'm not sure what he might have seen that led him to say, okay, I'm going to put guys back on gas, but we do see both are getting the banding nest right now. At least Stephano getting a few spines, and that's just based off last game. That's just something Stephano likes to do. We do have IdrA running in, maybe seeing if he could do any damage. He does not manage to kill a worker. Stephano taking that weak drone, making it into an extractor, and then canceling it. And normally you'll see Zerg players, they go for the extractor trick to try and be greedy, get that extra drone. But there, he did it to save that drone's life. What a selfless act from Stephano. And I don't know if I formally introduced the players. Kale is indeed IdrA. He is the blue Zerg in the 7 o'clock position. And we have Dream, who is Millennium Stephano, in the 6 o'clock position on Metalopolis. It is not the MLG version. This is on the Korean ladder. Again, I did say these things last game. So if you guys didn't see it, you should go check it out. And I think they were the same colors, possibly. But anyway, so now just to get that straight in case you guys might not have known, we just have both players. It's kind of almost the exact same thing that happened last game. IdrA getting the defensive bandings. He's got to be sending them out because he might lose a few drones right here. Stephano actually has a lot of zerglings. It looks like he might have been able to pick off 1 or 2. Oh god, that was so close. But IdrA has a lot of zerglings. Holy crap. Stephano did manage to kill 2 workers, but now we'll just have to see, is IdrA going to be able to get any work done with these? Of course, Stephano has banelings of his own. He's got the spine crawler. And so IdrA is not going to take the risk. He's not going to go running in there. He does try and send out a few zerglings, see if he can force a baneling detonation. He does force 1 right there. That was a fairly even trade. And IdrA sending in, ooh, pretty good baneling hit right there from Stephano, or IdrA, not a great one right there. He traded 2 banelings for 1. But we do see both players are mostly even now. IdrA's actually behind by about 6 on the worker tab. We have both players droning up. So it doesn't look like he'll be catching up. And this is just one of those examples of a time where in ZVZ, workers are like the most important thing in the world. Because this 2 drone difference can add up a lot over the course of time. We do have both players throwing down their 3rd at, again, almost exactly the same time. IdrA trying to pick off a baning. He might be trying to force a cancellation on the 3rd, and he might be able to get it. Actually, no, he does pull back because he does not want to lose all those zerglings. At the same time, Stephano knows the exact timing of IdrA's, and it's going to be interesting to see what these players do this game. Last game, we saw the 2 different tech paths, the Muta versus the Roach, and one very clearly prevailed. Again, I'm not going to say anything because you guys need to go watch my cast because I need more viewers, but it will be interesting to see this game whether they do go for the separate tech paths or the same ones. And looking at the production tab, it does look like the same one. Both getting their lair at very similar times. Both getting the +1 missile attack. Stephano's is almost done. I would imagine Stephano has a roach warren. Yes, he does. He's got the Evo chamber, so he'll probably be getting the double upgrades and all that jazz. As we have both players throwing down to 3rds, let's take a look at the income tab. And it looks like Stephano is 1 drone ahead. And so, but IdrA is making 2, so that'll 4, so that'll put him 3 drones ahead. See, so now he is indeed ahead. And so, both players just kind of, again, just macroing up, trying to figure out what tech composition is going to be best to defeat their opponent. And you see, in this game, they have the overlords all over the map, so they see everything going between their bases. They see everything going even on this side of the map. It looks like IdrA is going to be making this overseer right here, doing a little bit of scouting. Looks like IdrA is actually a little bit supply blocked. He does have 2 overlords on the way, but he also has the Gilial. I think it's Glial. Oh, there's no I in there, huh? Roach speed he has on the way. It increases the speed of roaches. And that is a very useful thing. Both players have that on the way. Stephano, again, a bit ahead on the upgrades, getting the carapace as well. And this is just kind of where we can see, you know, IdrA was a little, Jesus, 15 drones, but we can see IdrA was a bit supply blocked, but he had a bunch of upgrades coming out anyway, so he could still spend his money even though he couldn't produce units. It looks like IdrA is going to be taking the drone advantage. He is up by 12 drones now. And it doesn't look like Stephano's going to be droning up anymore. Stephano actually might be going for a timing push, which could be very scary for IdrA if he is not prepared. It looks like he's going to have the carapace, he's going to have burrow, but I don't know. IdrA's missile attacks is about 70 seconds behind, and he is getting the Hydra done. So it could be almost a matter of if Stephano can hit the timing after these key upgrades finish before IdrA's do, before IdrA has too many Hydras. And for those of you guys who don't really know this dynamic in Zerg versus Zerg of the Hydra versus the Roach, the way it works, Hydralisks have a very high damage output. They do a lot of damage, but they are not armored, and they do not have as much health as the Roach. Roaches, on the other hand, they do not do nearly as much damage, but they are a much more meaty unit. They can take a lot more damage. So getting that proper ratio between Hydras and Roaches is a very important thing to do, just because a lot of times, if you have too many Hydras and not enough Roaches, your army dies too fast for the Hydra damage to matter. If you have too many Roaches, not enough Hydras, having those extra Hydras doesn't really make that much of a difference because they don't add that much damage to your army. So it's very important to try and get as close as you can of the proper ratio when you do that. And we do see IdrA seems to be doing it right. He's got about 26 Roaches, 9 Hydras versus the 39 Roaches for Stephano. But we do have the timing coming out from Stephano. He's going to be finishing the missile attacks right when he hits, and he does have Burrow. This is potentially very dangerous for IdrA. Looks like the engagement is going to be coming very soon. Stephano getting a bit of a much better concave than IdrA, and IdrA just has to hope that these Hydras can do enough damage. Banelings running in, doing as much damage as they can at the front, and IdrA has to make sure he avoids those banelings. But it looks like IdrA is going to be able to make the hold. The Hydras do so much damage. They do 13 damage a shot. So they do more than 13 damage a second. We do have a whole bunch of zerglings running around up here, though. They might have been able to kill a few workers. Wow, they killed a lot of workers, actually. Looks like Stephano is going to be going for an attack up here. He's kind of just trying to pull IdrA in all different directions here. Do as much damage as you can. IdrA is going to need to take this out. It looks like he is going to lose the hatch. That is a nice pickup from Stephano. But again, at the same time, we have IdrA pushing out with a whole bunch of roaches, whole bunch of hydras. And we see he does have about a 10 supply lead, but he also does not have an overseer. These roaches are still up here, burrowed in the mineral line. And I hope IdrA does have an overseer right here, so hopefully he realizes that these guys are still in there. Yes, he does. And so he will be making another overseer, sending it over. And right now, I would say, I think IdrA has the advantage. You see, they are equal on workers, but IdrA does have almost as many roaches and hydralisks, or as many roaches in addition to those hydras. He does not have as good upgrades as Stephano does, and Stephano making a whole bunch of roaches right there. But I think the extra damage output of the hydras is a little bit superior to these upgrades that Stephano has, unless Stephano can really capitalize it, keep those roaches alive, do some burrow micro, some fun stuff like that. And IdrA is going to be engaging at the front, but this is not a good position. The roach is getting a much better position, and the spine crawlers as well. The roach is actually getting the flank, getting the full surround, and that, I was going to say, is terrible for IdrA. That is actually almost the one most important thing I forgot to mention about hydras. They are slow. You see that move speed 2.25 as opposed to the roaches with 3. So the issues with hydras is if you have a bunch of hydras in your army, you can't really retreat if the battle isn't going your way, because the roaches can just outrun you. But again, Stephano, you see him beating IdrA there 2-0, and a very good game from both players. It just looked like in the end, Stephano managed to just use a superior game sense and a very upgrade-focused roach play that was just really successful versus IdrA. I hope you guys enjoyed those games as much as I did. I loved them. Please subscribe, like my videos, let me know what you think in the comments, share me with all your friends, because these games are awesome and everyone should see them. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a wonderful afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have fun watching the Super Bowl. I don't really care who wins. I don't follow professional football that much, but I will be watching. I know a bunch of you guys will too. So have a wonderful, absolutely amazing day. Bye, guys.